What's going on? This is the Broke Genius, and welcome to the Life of Broke Genius. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. What's going on? This is the Broke Genius, and welcome to the Life of a Genius. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel.
Standing on,
Hey,
standing
nigga,
on.
listen to me, homie.
Which one is? Which one is?
When you a boss, and you really out here doing you don't play shit how motherfuckers expect you to play. I really play chess. I really play chess, nigga. I don't play checkers. I don't live with a bitch. I don't live with a bitch.
What's going on? What's going on, everyone? I was gathering evidence. I just, was going through my list of topics, and basically one of my topics was basically I came across a case with Albert Haynesworth. And Albert Haynesworth, in case you didn't know, he was a football player that pretty much he was an all-star linebacker. He was one of those linebackers that was just a behemoth. He's like 6 feet plus, weighed up, whopping weight, about 300 pounds, and can run fast. And he got a lot of money in the NFL. And we all, hear this story. It was a toss-up between Albert Haynesworth, or more recently, Adrian Peterson, when it comes to the cases of dummies with no money. Just in case you didn't know what I mean when I say dummies with money. Well, now, I said dummies with no money, because like my mother used to say, a fool with money, basically money soon parts. Basically a lot of guys that are fortunately blessed with genetic physical attributes such as being extremely tall, extremely big, extremely fast, even athletic, as well as being being also blessed with the ability to be able to sing, be able to do different talents. A lot of times people have problems with that when regards to those talents getting them money after they're done playing sports, after they're done singing or rapping, or any type of entertainment that they provide. A lot of times those individuals end up in a situation where they no longer have any money. And Albert Haynesworth is one of those individuals, and he pretty much got taken advantage of by a wealth advisor, by a financial advisor. He took advantage of him financially. A lot of people, they come from humble beginnings. They get a lot of wealth, and they basically obtain that wealth, and they don't necessarily know how to transform that wealth into more wealth, how to save that wealth and know how to make certain financial decisions with that newly acquired wealth, because a lot of times they're just thrust upon money. And a lot of times when people are thrusted upon that money, they have people that come out the woodworks and they know the script. They know these people don't know anything about money. They know that these people don't know about, anything in relations to investing, how to properly bank, use the banking system, how to even keep a budget. A lot of these individuals that are college educated, that grew up in well-to-do neighborhoods or even lived a middle-class life, they prey on the poor, but not so much even the poor, but the newly rich that was poor, if that makes sense to you. They prey on people that newly acquire money. They, basically a lot of people call them vultures, because the thing about it is a lot of individuals, and then they also young, you throw the aspect that they're young into the mix, and it makes the argument, basically much more of an issue, where they just don't know a lot, right? Just got drafted out of high school or college. You're young, you don't really know that much. You also came from a poor background. These people that might be in their late 20s, early 30s, might even be in their 40s. They're just licking their chops when they see these guys, in a bar, or see these people whenever they see them, such as kind of no different. Well, yeah, a little bit. Of course, they have to be a little bit more crafty than a quote unquote gold digger, but the gold digger and them pretty much want the same thing. They want that newly acquired wealth that is from that new signing bonus or the new contract. They want that money, but what makes them more dubious is that they don't have any they're coming in a different light. They have to be more creative and crafty in their approach, because the gold digger, she has the looks, she has the the breast and the ass poking out of the sundress or the skirt, and high heels and makeup and everything like that. Well, the broker, he just just at the bar, and he pretty much, he'll just start with probably buying a drink, and start talking about, ask you a question like, so what are you going to do after football or basketball, or what are you doing with your investments? What investments do you have? They'll ask questions like that, because the young guy, football player, basketball player, baseball player, they like investments. What are you talking about investments? I play third base. I just go to practice and stuff like that. I don't have any time to invest, nor do I know anything about investments. I just, I practice, 3 hours every day, morning and night. I I don't necessarily invest. And then, you know, that just kind of sparks off the conversation of him talking more and more and more and more about it. And, you know, next thing you know, he's signing on to be his, you know, broker with fiduciary responsibilities. And fiduciary means basically he's supposed to be responsible for, you know, capital losses, as well as trying to do what's best for his client or prospective clients, in gaining capital and preventing losses and stuff like that. That's actually a law. If you have fiduciary responsibilities, you are supposed to uphold those fiduciary responsibilities, or you can lose your broker's license and yada 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 yada. So the case with Albert Haynesworth, which is you know, interesting. A lot of times, you know, people, you know, they just lose their money through series of expenses and stuff like that. No question that Albert Haynesworth did that as well, but in this case, he also lost a lot of money with a wealth advisor, basically. You know, this you know, guy in the picture, his name is basically it's basically, I got it in the I got it actually in the description, is John Verble. He's a financial advisor that duped Albert Haynesworth out of a lot of money, millions upon millions of dollars. I actually have the case log for the FINRA case, and you know, I will talk about that. You know, I will basically go into detail more about what actually happened with that case file, because he actually, what the result was is that Albert Haynesworth was basically owed money. He was duped out of money, and he had to file a lawsuit. Okay, so let's just say, a lot of times these people, these wealth advisors, these suits, let's just call them suits, they know a couple things. Like I said, they know these people are young. They know where these people come from. Basically, they come from a situation where they were poor and you know, came from humble beginnings. And they also know that these people that they deal with, as far as trying to possibly dupe them out of money, they know these people are kind of arrogant. You know, a lot of times, you know, I'll just say it, a lot of times black people try to impress white guys. You know, white guy, you know, pretty much comes up to you. You know, a lot of times black guys try to impress them for some reason or another. They try to, like, you know, somebody offers you a drink at a bar and a cigar, you know, and then next thing you know, they start shooting the shit. You know, black dudes will try to one up, you know, the white guy he's talking to and brag and stuff like that. And then they go back and forth from brag. And, you know, that's like basically inviting a level of arrogance, is to say, you know, yeah, I'm the shit, you know, yeah, I tackled, you know, 15 people for loss in one season, you know, and made the Pro Bowl and blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, you know, a lot of times people give a lot of times white guys a pass because they kind of look at it like they can do no wrong. It's like a psychological thing. I don't know what it is, but a lot of black guys, you know, black people in general, just kind of take the fences off when they, you know, are dealing with quote unquote white suits that are selling them something. And you just don't think like, well, this guy, man, he could possibly cause me to lose a lot of money. He could cause me to lose my entire life savings. But it only happens a lot of times. I mean, all you have to do is watch American Greed. But a lot of times they use that level of arrogance and kind of using their white privilege to sell them a dream that they're going to take their money and then they're going to make like a whole bunch more money. Don't get me wrong. There are some wealth advisors that do a very good job. I mean, I'm sure they are. But in this case, this particular guy, he was not. He definitely was not. John S. Verble, basically, he was definitely someone that is a crook, and took advantage of this man. People don't like Albert Haynesworth because he was a very he was a high level, let's just say he was a high level asshole, and he basically did a lot of things such as take a lot of money for contract costs. I mean, he signed contracts with NFL teams, and pretty much he didn't deliver what was promised, didn't make weight, didn't was unable to complete physicals, and he even used to get in fights with his teammates and practice physical fist fights. He even because some of the turfs, the natural turfs, for example, they use metal cleats. I mean, he's got film where he stepped on a player's face, took his helmet off actually, and stomped on the player's face, not once but twice. So he was a very dirty player, a scumbag of a player. And a lot of people were like, really, even in the research that I did on him, a lot of people did not, they were like happy that he was broke. Okay, because right now, Albert Haynesworth is going through he's literally fighting for his life at this moment, unfortunately. He has, I believe, diabetes issues, and he needs a kidney. He literally, he needs a kidney because his kidney has failed. So he's looking for a kidney replacement, actually, a kidney donor. He was married. He had several situations where he had police called on him, got locked up, and he had to divorce his wife. Now I'm gonna play a video to kind of show what actually happened with him. Now this video, I'm not gonna play all of the length of this video, but it basically shows what I'm talking about as far as this particular, like, I'm not really a sports guy as far as I talk about sports a lot. I do watch sports, but this guy that I watch a lot, his name is Flimlo Raps. He talks a lot about a lot of NFL players that, like, basically like what happened to him. He does a whole bunch of like videos like that. So I'm going to play some of this video. Definitely fair use, and we're gonna see what actually happened to Albert Haynesworth.
Albert Haynesworth is different things to different people. Some people see him as the biggest free agency bust of all time.
Watch Albert Haynesworth on that.
Yeah, I was just going to say it.
Yeah. You got to get up off the ground and stay alive and chase this guy.
Yep.
Some claim he's the most dominant defensive tackle ever during his short prime. A couple cats probably just remember him for not being able to pass his conditioning test, and to everybody else, he's just that dirty ass player who stumped dude's face in at one time. Every single one of those is true, but there's a little bit more to the story. So, as we always do, let's start at the beginning. Albert Haynesworth grew up in a small town of Hartsville, South Carolina. At only 8 years old, he set a goal to one day play in the NFL, a dream that didn't seem very realistic at the time for a chubby kid. At only 14 years old, Albert Haynesworth was already dealing with an ailment that most retired NFL players deal with. Dude was experiencing terrible knee pain. He didn't know it at the time, but these growing pains were an early sign of the massive frame he developed over the next several years. And it's funny how life works. This pain that was causing him so much trouble now would one day bring him every single thing he ever longed for. That summer, as Albert prepared to begin his freshman year of high school, dude grew 5 inches, adding height to an already wide frame. At the time, dude was drinking 2 gallons of whole milk per week and sleeping most of the day. His strength seemed superhuman. No way a man that size should be able to move the way he did. As a high school junior, he racked up 150 tackles and 6 sacks. But make no mistake, it was never about racking up stats. It was always about inflicting as much pain as humanly possible. According to Albert, one time on special teams, he clotheslined a punt returner so hard, dude did a backflip. The crowd went crazy, and Albert later admitted that was the day he became addicted to this feeling, a dark sensation of overpowering helpless opponents. This was a dangerous, unhealthy obsession, and one day it would take away everything it gave Albert and more. This is what happened to Albert Haynesworth, a cautionary tale about being consumed by your own inner demons. Cue the way. All right, before we jump in, it's time for a quick word from today's video sponsor, Blinkist. Blinkist is one of my favorite sponsors because it offers a quick and convenient commodity for college football programs. Ultimately, the South Carolina kid chose to attend the University of Tennessee. Albert was an only child, and dude never really played well with others. As a sophomore in college, he fought with multiple teammates during practices. Now, of course, we all know this isn't out of the norm. Fights break out during football practices all the time. The thing is, they usually don't go beyond that point. You get into a little scuffle in the heat of the moment, people break it up, practice continues. 2 or 3 days later, it's like it never happened. But when Albert got kicked out of practice, dude showed back up with an iron pole, ready to take things way too far. Like, it's just a football fight, bro. It's over. This type of behavior would become a trend for Albert. Anytime he didn't win a football battle, his ego would take over and dude would want to turn it into a street fight. Albert admitted to struggling mentally during his early days at Tennessee. He thought heavily about quitting football during that time period. This is when Albert was introduced to a psychologist by his coach. Seemed like a solid move for a kid who's struggling to adapt to college life. Finally, somebody Albert could talk to. Over the next few years, Albert would start to call this psychologist his friend and then his best friend. Okay, they was hanging out, fishing together and stuff. Stop me if this sounds crazy. How old is this cat? He clearly a grown man if he got a whole psychology license. That's your best friend? Bro, it's your therapist. This is one of my issues with the NCAA. There's so many damn rules and so many things that you can't do. Like, how is this okay? And if you feel like this is the type of thing that won't end well, you're right. More on it in a second. Eventually, Albert made it onto the field. It's hard to really quantify an interior defensive lineman's impact on the game by using traditional stats, but that's what we have.
I mean, you know, that I can stop it right there. I mean, you know, a lot of times another thing that a lot of these people that come from, like I say, humble beginnings, you know, in a situation where they had to come out of deep embedded poverty, they have a level of trauma that's undealt with, and they also makes that level also makes them vulnerable, you know, to basically someone taking advantage of them, you know, being their friend, being their fake friend, you know. But I'm gonna finish this on.
access to here. So in 3 seasons as a starting D lineman, Albert racked up 66 tackles, 5 sacks, 31 QB pressures, 20 tackles for loss, and 9 pass deflections. At Tennessee's pro day, dude measured in 6'6", 317 pounds. He was athletic as hell for his size. Carrying all that weight, dude ran a 4.82. His 39 reps on the bench showed NFL scouts what they already knew. Albert Haynesworth had potential to be a brutal run stopper in the NFL. Now, once it was clear that Albert was going to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft, his psychologist friend made his move. He approached Albert with the proposition, I do some investing on the side. I've been helping other guys out for years. You should let me handle your money. In some ways, Albert was ahead of the game. He knew he wanted to invest. He knew he didn't want to blow his money on stupid stuff. So this whole thing seemed like a no-brainer. Not only was this guy his best friend who was there for him before he was slated as a first-round pick, dude also showed him an investment portfolio with millions of dollars in it. He seemed smart, capable, and experienced. Albert said yes. Albert ended up going his whole career thinking dude was taking great care of his money, making smart investments, and ensuring Albert would stay rich well after he left the NFL. But the unfortunate truth would one day come to light. According to Albert, this so-called friend would steal millions upon millions from Albert right under his nose. And the worst part was, Albert wouldn't figure it out until after he retired from the NFL. Albert was drafted 15th overall.
Okay, so that pretty much kind of goes into enough detail of what I wanted to basically present to you. I'm going to show you another thing, and that is I'm going to read a couple articles. This is from May 2011, and this is ex-Vol Albert Haynesworth lawsuit headed to arbitration. Proceedings started before financial regulator by Josh Flory. A dispute between former Tennessee football star and his one-time financial advisor is apparently headed to arbitration. In 2009, Albert Haynesworth filed a lawsuit in Knox County Chancery Court against local financial advisor John Verble and investment brokerage Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. The suit alleged that Verble had indicated he would take care of finding or providing adequate insurance for Haynesworth relative to his net worth, but that Verble did not secure an umbrella policy or increase coverage for the football star. In 2008, Haynesworth, who is now on the roster of the Washington Redskins, well, of course, this is 2011. He is since retired from the NFL. Washington Redskins was involved in a car accident for which, according to the suit, he might be found liable in an amount that exceeds his liability insurance limits. The suit alleged that Haynesworth would not face such significant personal exposure if Verble had done what he promised. In a filing last month, Chancellor John Weaver signed an order which said that Haynesworth had commenced arbitration proceedings against the defendants before the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, which is FINRA, regarding the claims. Now, I also downloaded the case file. This is the case number, the FINRA case number 11-01014. This is the actual case file. Now, without further going into this, because I am by no means a lawyer of any kind, basically what happened was Albert, he filed a lawsuit with his lawyer, of course, and basically he won the lawsuit, but he didn't get all of the proceeds that he wanted. He filed for $30 million. he only got 10% of that. Well, actually, he only got 1% of it because they only gave him $300,000. I mean, yeah, $300,000. Okay, so the thing is this: when it comes to, and I'll drop the link if anybody wants to talk about this. When it comes to this situation, a lot of these guys, they know these guys, man. They know they're vulnerable. They know they got a script for guys like these, because they got it down to a science psychologically, And what I mean psychologically is that they know these guys also have an ego. They know that these guys, they listen to rap music. A lot of times they got, decent cars and stuff like that. They do have the money at this current time, and they think, and they're also young, and they think they're invisible. And, they know that they don't know that much. These guys, they know that they don't know that much as far as even the guys themselves. They know, yeah, I'm not necessarily an investor. I play football, I play basketball, baseball, whatever. But they're catching them at a time where they have these chains on. They got these diamond rings and diamond earrings and, whatever, all of these, riches that they have right now. And they're in a bubble, and, they're highly arrogant. They got a little entourage, and it's like, this guy, this suit comes up and offers them to make some more money. They just assume already that, this guy, he's going to make me some money. And they willingly sign over, bank account, deposit statements to basically transfer money every month so they can make more money in the stock market, and these guys sign up for that. And then next thing you know, they getting duped out of their money. This happens so often that it's just ridiculous. I mean, if you want to talk about Scottie Pippen, if you want to, Albert Haynesworth, you want to also, what's going on, Soul Shader? You want to talk about, Antoine Walker. I mean, these guys, man, are targets, man, for these guys, man. These suits that are selling them these dreams, because I talked about the scam artists that of, that the social media scam artists, but what about the suits? What about the American greed guys? It's a lot of guys, man, that are scamming people, and you wouldn't even know nothing about this. You wouldn't even know that it happened, because a lot of times, to protect the image of people, they don't want to really talk about a lot of what, white people do to steal money from, their clients and stuff like that, especially if they're black, because, it's like, here's the irony to it. One thing, it really, I would feel really, really bad if I did everything I did to get out of poverty or get out of a situation that, it was almost very extremely difficult to get out of. And basically, I come from a collective or a group that only has collectively $1 trillion, but really on average $3,000. And then another group that has over 100,000 on average collectively, and $22 trillion takes me a suit, takes me for some white guy in a suit, takes my money, takes my millions of dollars from me. And then I got to ultimately go back to, a humble beginning, or, slightly better than how I grew up, or my, worse type of lifestyle. It would really, really get to me, that would really bother me. I mean, and a lot of times, man, that's the case, man. A lot of times we hate ourselves so much and hate each other, and we do each other wrong, but then also other people do us wrong. Other, groups, ethnicities do us extremely wrong. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we overlook that. We don't really want to talk about that. But this is definitely the case of, basically someone taking advantage of, basically a poor person with a bunch of money. I mean, basically, that literally what it is. It's a black guy that grew up poor, that got some money all of a sudden. And, I guarantee you that particular, situation is definitely something that he can't necessarily, he'll be hard pressed to make that money again. That was his one time to make that money. And it's like, pretty much he's not going to get it. Now, the thing is that you got to look at it from a perspective of, I don't know this man. Okay. I never met Albert Haynesworth. I've definitely watched him on TV, Monday Night Football. I mean, he was, somebody, that definitely is, someone that I knew about, in the football world, but the thing is that from his other peers, he was definitely someone that was highly arrogant, very pompous. The thing is what I'm saying is that this guy, he probably, even if you tried to get through to him, he wouldn't have listened to you. It's probably people that told him, man, why are you giving this dude all your money? And I'm just playing devil's advocate. And he probably was like, man, I mean, no, this guy, he's my friend. I know him. We go fishing. We go, hanging out. And, he wouldn't do me like that. He's my friend, And, come to find out, his guys that was giving him advice, it was exactly what it was turned out to be. And it's like, this guy didn't listen. So, yeah, I mean, you got a lot of that, man, that goes on, too. People advise you, like, hey, this guy, man, what's up with this guy? He doesn't seem right, man. It seems kind of weird, man. Why would your friend want your money to invest in? I mean, if he's your friend, he wouldn't need you to give him all of this money to invest in like that. I mean, have you seen any returns? I mean, what do you know about this guy that, you just started, you met him while you started playing in the NFL. You don't know him before the NFL, because a lot of these guys, they would never even show up if you wasn't, if you just a regular guy. These guys wouldn't show up. You know what I'm saying? That's just like clue number one. A lot of these guys, man, come out the woodworks once you obviously are signed on the dotted line and you have a contract in the NFL. So Albert Haynesworth is one of many, people that are, dummies with money. It's so many that I could just do this on and on and on. It's so many cases of dummies with money, because a lot, like I say, out of the four types of men, you have the dummy with no money, the dummy with money, the man with knowledge but no money, the man with knowledge and money. The man that basically, the dummy with money, he looks down on the dummy with no money, and then he also looks down on the man with knowledge but no money. He respects the person that is got money and knowledge, but he overlooks the man with knowledge and no money. Like for example, I mean, I talked about AMC a couple days ago. Okay, I pretty much was ranting on my way from work in my struggle pickup truck, and that rant would have made you a whole bunch of money, because AMC is just, I get news feeds. I got, I'm on groups where people they'll invest in stocks and they'll post their gains, and they'll post what happened and what things that they made money off of. I'm gonna show you about a man, a broke genius. If you listen to the broke genius and actually listen to him, see, I'm gonna show you how much money you can actually make. Because the thing about it is, I might not have the capital to invest in, but you might have it. I'm gonna show you what that would net if you were to listen to me just in that truck, just talking about basically the only person that really hopped on the channel, the chat box that day was Iori, and we were talking about this. This is what you would have made in the last. Okay, that day I did that video was Monday, and that was the 25th. Now look at AMC on the 25th. $4.36. If you don't respect my gangster right now, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. And I'm not gonna go into Naked Brands Group because I've already talked about Naked Brands Group a couple months ago. But you can look up Naked Brands Group. But just listening to a broke dude in a pickup truck, man, leaving work, would have made a whole bunch of money, man. A whole bunch of money. And I myself, I will say this, but I mean, I was, I'll say this. I could have made some money too. I ain't gonna lie. I'll give myself, I'll give myself a slap. You know what I'm saying? I'll give myself a slap for that, because basically, I could have made a little money. I could have just made a couple trades and got in. Definitely.
Round one, fight!
I could have definitely made some money off of that. But the thing is that you basically might, be listening to people and then like, dang, well, what about it, man? Yeah, I mean, the movie theaters, yeah, they're gonna open back up, Then next thing you know, man, I just had to show you, that was the second reason I hopped on. I mean, I was just trying to clear out some topics or whatever, and definitely wanted to mention Albert Haynesworth. But I mean, yeah, that actual stock, there's no typo, there's no Photoshop. AMC shot up. I was talking about it going to work. Leaving work. Actually, January 25th. It's $4, $19 now. I mean, I can't make this up. I can't even really explain it too much. It's just like, man, I mean, it's right there. It's just literally right there. I don't know what to tell you. I'm giving you free advice because this is something that, if you got stockbrokers and stuff like that, a lot of you people have 401ks and you got your money in 401ks and your 401ks is losing money and stuff like that. You can actually trade yourself just listening to me, just a little, broke dude, man, and trying to come up, man, in the Chicagoland area, man, and make more money than what your 401k provider is giving you. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's really, really serious, you know. But like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have any fiduciary responsibilities. I mean, you do your own due diligence, of course. And the thing is that, you know, even doing that, you still would have made money. You know, it just you see, I'm showing it live in you know, basically in real time. You know, it's like I can't make this up. You know, it just, you know, some of you guys, man, you have the money and you're not doing anything with it. You just kind of like you got a little debt or you got a lot of debt. You got a lot more money than probably I'm sure I have. You have a lot more savings or actual capital than I have, but it's not doing nothing with it, you know. And it's you know, it is what it is. You just, you know, just kind of following along. You just like it's like a sheep in a flock. I mean, you just, I don't know, man. You guys, man, I hope you guys wake up, you know, because that money, man, that money you could use to actually become actually a millionaire. I mean, that's what I, you know, write about. I mean, you guys can actually take that money and grow it, you know. But yeah, so anyway, man, I'm gonna get off of here. You know, basically, you know, this is you know, case of Albert Haynesworth, another dummy with money that has lost a lot of wealth, you know, a lot of riches, making dummy moves.